But I wanted to introduce you all to Patrick Lovell. He is a filmmaker, writer, producer, and the protagonist of Forward 13, Waking Up the American Dream. Forward13thefilm.com is the website for it. It debuted last night on Free Speech TV. And Patrick, welcome to the program.
Hey, Tom, thank you so much. It's a bit profound considering the last question you asked before going to break. What would you do if you knew the world was going to end tomorrow? I'm actually sitting right at ground zero at the moment, looking up at the newly refurbished One World Tower, thinking about that same thing.
And your thoughts are?
Well, that's why I made the film, Forward 13, Waking Up the American Dream. It's about understanding where you've come from to understand where we have to go. And as you know more than anyone else, Tom, the time is now, because if we don't wake up and get this thing figured out quickly, we're not going to have any time left.
Right. Not only do we need an economy, and not only do we need an economy that will sustain a middle class that's not, in constant poverty and fear of want, but we need an economy that's sustainable.
Exactly.
That's environmentally sustainable. And I think personally that the environmental sustainability could be the thing that produces the economy that produces a sustainable middle class. You started out by basically losing everything with the crash of 2008, the Great Bush Depression crash, whatever you call it, the bankster crash, and went from there to make this movie. Tell us about that.
Well, I've been a producer for some time, and I actually was on a television show giving away houses, of all things, for about 2.5 years prior to this entire event that became the catalyst for me going on a journey. And what happened was I was starting my own company, and I had the opportunity to start it. I had seed funding from a high-net-worth individual that was coming on September 15, 2008. That was the day, obviously, that crashed on Wall Street, but it was also the day that revealed itself for what it was. And
that was the day Lehman collapsed, wasn't it?
That was the day Lehman collapsed. And I got buried. My family and I got buried. We were in a subprime home, although I was making good money at the time. But the fact was we work in a right-to-work state, so you had to do subprime just because of the nature of the paperwork. And we were making great money at the time. But as everybody else experienced, we ended up losing everything. And as a result, my house went through wrongful foreclosure. And the process was just horrible. But what it did was it basically took everything away and it broke it down to its lowest common denominator. And it sent me on a journey where I found everything that mattered, and that's our film, Forward 13, Waking Up the American Dream, which leads to exactly what you're talking about. Because the answer, Tom, has to be the third industrial revolution across the board, whether it's in media, whether it's in energy, whether it's in food sustainability, across the board. And we have the technology to do it, but what's happening at the moment, as you know better than anybody, that it's a war in the trenches between those, the status quo, the big oil, the big finance, that don't want to change anything because they're doing just fine.
Yeah. Remarkable. And the movie, we're talking with Patrick Lovell. He's the filmmaker, writer, producer, and the protagonist, the star of Forward 13, Waking Up the American Dream. Forward13thefilm.com is the website. You're going to, let's see, you're making your film debut at the Rated SR Socially Relevant Film Festival in New York City today at 5 p.m. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that's correct. And believe it or not, as you know, if you saw the film, Tom, my family plays a big role in this, and we stuck together, and we didn't, get divorced and commit suicide and those things that were pretty relevant as a result of the fact that now we're here together, live and well, for the premiere of our film, and it's like a dream come true. But I do want to mention just really quickly, because I don't think we have much time, that, Tom, the whole thing is a prologue to what happens next. We created the Everyman Super PAC, and we hope your viewers will find us online at everymansuperpac.com. The idea is we've got to end the revolving door, and we've got an idea on how to do that, and it's all there on our website.
Okay. And say that website again.
It's everymansuperpac.com. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek sort of approach to the super PACs and the 501c4s.
Right.
We are a 501c4, but we're trying to put ourselves out of business as quickly as possible.
Right.
We want to be Main Street's answer to the Cokes.
That's great. That's great. And also, I know I see that people can get tickets if they're in New York City to the Quad Cinema, where you're going to be doing a Q&A after the screening today at 5, and it's coming up on 4 right now.
If people had attended Occupy Wall Street, especially, or if you lost your home to foreclosure, I would love to see you there. Get on down. It's at the Quad Theaters in the Village.
Yeah. And ratedsrfilms.org is the website where you can pick up tickets to that. It's also available on Hulu and Amazon and Vimeo. I'm going to have to watch it this weekend, Patrick. Last night I had after I got off the air, I had a business dinner that I had to go to, and I didn't have an opportunity to watch it on Free Speech TV to watch the debut. So I'm very much looking forward to this, and I'll probably just pick it up on Amazon this weekend and watch it.
Tom, it would be more of an honor than you know if I could ever hear from you personally, because I got to read The Crash in 2016, but I watch you all the time. You're the greatest guy in media, and thank God for you, Tom, because your voice matters, man, and it's just an absolute honor to talk to you, my friend.
Well, thank you, Patrick, and it's a pleasure to have you on the program too. The work that you're doing is really important, and people need to check this out. The movie is Forward 13: Waking Up the American Dream. How do you describe the American Dream, Patrick?
Well, the American Dream, of course, can be all things to all people. For me, what it means is sustainability and upward mobility. What it means is that if you have an idea to come up with the greatest invention, if you have an idea to get married and own a home, if you have an idea to be in your own business, that all of those opportunities are available to you if you're willing to work hard and make it. But what I learned as a result of 2008, and I can tell you, prior to this, I was the greatest and firmest believer in the American Dream, that anything was possible. I'd never call myself a libertarian, but I certainly believe that you can work hard and make things happen. But since, and I'm standing right here in ground zero, September 2008 revealed to me the real world, like the fall of the towers. And what it revealed is the emperor wears no clothes, which is everything you've been talking about every time I've listened to you, Tom, which is the billionaires and the revolving door of choke the American Dream. They've got their foot on the American Dream, which means that mobility is dead until we, the people, do something about it.
Yeah. We no longer have an economy, we have an oligonomy. We no longer have a democracy, we have an oligarchy. And
that's exactly right.
Yeah. And it's the big, you've got six big banks control 65 assets equal to 65% of the GDP of the planet, or of the country rather. And that ain't good. Patrick Lovell, he is the writer, producer, protagonist, and filmmaker for Forward 13, Waking Up the American Dream. The website for the film is forward13thefilm.com.